Sports in many regions of the world has always been split between genders. This is usually to make up for the perceived physical differences between genders and to create a level playing field. But in recent times, this has become a topic of debate, and MMA happens to be one of those areas. In March 2013, during an interview with Outsports, Fallon Fox openly identified as a member of the transgender community. The former US Navy officer at the time had been competing in the women's flyweight division, and this had sparked debate about licensing processes for members of the trans community. Following the revelation, Fox had 2 fights cancelled. Attacks on Fox's credibility as a fighter became commonplace.
That's interesting because you hear the critics that say being born male, Fallon, gives you a physical advantage over a female competitor. So that's, in your opinion, is not true.
Yeah, it's not just my opinion, it's the medical community's opinion. Of course, you're going to find some crackpot doctors that some reporters have found, hey, what do you think about this? And for their benefit, they're going to say something opposite. But the vast majority of the medical community knows that, this is the truth, what I'm saying.
So bottom line, being born male doesn't give you a physical advantage competing in female MMA?
No, not at all. After you take the testosterone, the hormone replacement therapy, and you remove that ability for the body to create large amounts of testosterone, especially being that I don't have even the amount of testosterone that women who were born with female anatomy have. I'm going to be I'm actually at a disadvantage.
The UFC publicly backed Fox and declared itself a friend and an ally. At the time, Ronda Rousey was even quoted as saying she would be willing to fight Fox. With all this going on, we wanted to explore whether the UFC is ready for transgender fighters. In an interview, UFC President Dana White stated that the bone structure is different, hands are bigger, jaw is bigger, everything is bigger. And he said, "I don't think someone who used to be a man and becomes a woman should be able to fight a woman, but this wouldn't be the first time that Dana had stated something and gone back on his position. Just think about the women's division in its entirety." Alana McLaughlin is the second fighter in recent times to identify as being a member of the transgender community. The former US Special Ops Forces officer made her MMA debut in September 2021. Coming from a conservative family, Alana joined the US Army in 2003 and served for 6 years. She recently beat Celine Provost. However, social media were quick to comment on what was believed to be a natural advantage that members of the trans community have over non-members who compete in the women's division. In our view, McLaughlin and Fox are the first in a generation of emerging fighters, and although the science supports inclusion, the big question is whether the fans will, and that's something only the future will tell. Share your thoughts in the comment section, and if you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel.